GolfNewsRI presents the Golf Dudes Podcast. Here are the dudes.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Golf Dudes Podcast. Just me today. I'm Joe Calabro. Thanks for tuning in. Hope everyone's having a splendid Thursday and a splendid week as the weekend is almost here. Another golf weekend ahead, hopefully, for everybody. So anyway, hope you're all having a great week, great day, and a great evening for that matter. I know the Patriots are playing as we speak, so football season is right around the corner, unbelievably enough. Summer goes by so fast, it's hard to believe the football is already here. But here we are, just a few weeks away from the start of the regular season. I know people are excited about that. I don't know if Patriots fans have much reason to be excited about, but at least you have to. Hopefully, the team is better than last year. They have a real offensive coordinator. Hopefully, Mac Jones knows what he's doing, or at least has a better idea of what he's doing. And we'll see. They have a tough schedule, tough division, so hard to feel good about the Patriots. But I guess that's what they play the games for. So should be fun to watch, obviously. But this is a golf podcast, so let's talk golf here on the Golf Dudes Podcast. It's been a busy week plus or so, starting with over the weekend with the conclusion of the Women's Amateur at Kirkberry Country Club. And this week we had the New England Junior Amateur, which a big victory for the girls. We'll get into that in a second. And then obviously you had the Stroke Play Championship over at Valley. But we start with the most recent thing first, because that's what we do or try to do mostly. And that was the New England Junior Amateur. It was the biggest story, one of the biggest stories of the week. Locally, the girls team consisting of Kyle Eaton, Olivia Williams, and Adriana Eaton won their division. And the New England Juniors, they beat the other states, Connecticut, Massachusetts, Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, to win the titles. Their first girls title since 2019. So an amazing win for them. Kylie Eaton won medalist honors or individual honors in the tournament. She played great, had a bounce back after obviously she wanted to win the women's am last week. Didn't get it done, but she gets the New England Junior am and a victory for Team Rhode Island. So a huge win for them. All three of them finished inside the top 8. I think Adriana finished tied for 5th, and I believe Olivia finished in a tie for 8th. So all of them finished inside the top 8. A great performance and a huge victory for the RI girls and the New England Junior Amateur, which took place Tuesday and Wednesday up in New Hampshire. So that was awesome. They were leading after round 1. I said, boy, I really hope they can hang on. Obviously, Connecticut's a powerhouse and Massachusetts is always good. And Maine and Vermont are all there as well. So, but they ended up holding on. They never really were threatened necessarily. They won by a couple of shots and always had a pretty comfortable lead. Kylie, for the most part, always had a pretty comfortable lead. I think she won the medalist honors by 3 shots or so. So, big win for them yesterday. A huge win for RI Golf. Anytime we send team players or teams to these events, whether it's the New England Junior Amateur or Junior Ryder Cup type of thing that the Challenge Cup puts together down in Florida over the winter, or the tri-state matches that are coming up in about a month or so, maybe a little more than a month. It's imperative that Rhode Island plays well. You want to see them play well because that's how the sport grows. And that's how you're going to get more eyeballs on what's going on in Rhode Island. So a huge win for the RI girls this week at the New England Juniors. So congrats to them. And obviously congrats to Kylie on winning individual honors. On the boys' side of the bracket, it was a little bit of a different story. The boys finished in a tie for 4th behind Massachusetts, Connecticut, and New Hampshire. They didn't play great in the last day. They struggled. They got off to a slowish start in the first round, but then they bounced back in the second round with a 4-under round team score. And then the second day, the final day, they were 13 over in the final day to fall 1 stroke out of third place and finish behind New Hampshire, which you would like to see them beat New Hampshire and get 3rd. Massachusetts is a powerhouse. They finished 33 under as a team. which is an absurd number over 3 rounds. But that was their score. Even Connecticut, I think, was 15 under, if I'm not mistaken, 15 or 16, somewhere in there. So both of those states went low, and again, it was going to be tough for Rhode Island to keep up with them. But you'd like to see, see them get third and maybe even a closer third than what they ended up getting, which was fourth. New Hampshire was led by this young phenom named Josiah Hakala. He came to Rhode Island for the Providence Open, and I think 1 or 2 other events, a couple of the Challenge Cup events. I think he also played in. He's supposed to be a phenom. I think he finished second or third individually, behind Luke Stennett, URI commit, who ended up hanging on for the win. He was Stennett, who again is going to URI in I think 2024, if I'm not mistaken. He was 11 under after the first day, which is 2 rounds, 36 holes, and then he backed up a little bit, but still hung on for the win. So I know Greg Burke, the URI head coach, I was talking to him. He's excited about Luke Stennett coming to Rhody, but Stennett ran away with the victory, or not ran away, but he held on for the victory and helped Connecticut greatly, obviously, finish second. So a tough week for the boys. Again, you'd like to see them, beat New Hampshire for sure. And if not compete with Connecticut and to a certain extent Massachusetts, but Massachusetts is they're just such a powerhouse program. It's just tough to keep up. I mean, 33 under par, even though it's a team score and it's 3 rounds, it's still an absurd number. So you'd like to see, but if we want to move golf forward and the state further into the spotlight, you'd like to see them do a little better, but I'm sure they wanted to do better themselves. So it was not they were trying to screw up. But a good week overall for both teams. Max Jackson had a good week for the boys. So did Ryan Marcantonio, Cole Vieira. They all kind of led the way. So there's that. So junior, congrats to the girls, and a good run by the boys to finish in a tie for 4th. Again, glad to see them get into that 3rd spot and beat New Hampshire, but it is what it is. That's the game of golf. So that was the biggest thing that was going on this week. And then, of course, the other thing was the RI Stroke Play Championship taking place over at Valley Country Club. That was Tuesday and Wednesday. Wednesday was 36 holes. And, of course, Harry Dessel got the victory there. So happy for my friend Harry. Great victory. Him and Tyler Cook were tied at 3 under par for the tournament going into the last hole, and Harry ended up birdieing it. Tyler Cook had a 2-shot lead with I think 3 or 4 holes to go. He ends up bogeying 17. And that combined with the Harry Dessel birdie on 16 puts them in a tie. So 2-shot swing there, and Harry Dessel makes birdie on the par 5 18th. He only had like a 2-footer if it was even that long. For the putt, so he obviously hit an incredible shot. So congrats to Harry, and the Stroke Play Championship once again is a redeeming tournament for a player. Last year Mike Hamilton lost in our amateur final, a heartbreaking defeat to Kevin Blazer. He bounced back a couple of weeks later, whatever it was, and won the Stroke Play. This year Harry Dessel lost to Bobby Leopold in the amateur final. Bobby Leopold was dominant the entire tournament, to be fair, but now Harry Dessel bounces back and wins the Stroke Play, gives himself a good taste in his mouth going back to college in a couple of weeks at Lafayette. So a big win for Harry Dessel. Congrats to him. I know he's feeling a little better about himself for sure. And those are the 2 big events going on in Rhode Island this week, as far as golf goes. This past weekend, of course, GolfNewsRI had coverage of the Rhode Island Women's Amateur over at Kirkbride Country Club. Everyone was talking about the home game for Kylie and Adriana, but it was a home game for myself too. It was great. It's just what I needed. So it was great to be at Kirkbride. The course obviously was amazing, as usual. And it was an amazing tournament. We got matchups that we wanted to see, matchups that we were hoping for. You got the Kylie and Morgan McLeod rematch from last year's Women's Amateur Championship. You got Kylie versus Adriana, which ended up being an epic duel won by Adriana. I believe it's her first win over Kylie in a match play situation. If I'm not, and she's beaten her before in stroke play. Obviously, Adriana won the high school state championship, but I believe it's her first win over Kylie in a match play situation. So that was big. It was kind of back and forth for a while, and Adriana pulled away kind of midway through or early in the back nine. I would say. I wouldn't say midway through. I would say early in the back nine. Adriana went, I think, 3 up, and it was kind of over after that for sure. But we got that matchup. We got in the final, we got Adriana Eaton against Olivia Williams, which is a rematch of the junior amateur the week before when Olivia won. So we got rematches, we got exciting matchups, we got things that we wanted to see at the Women's Am. So from a media perspective, from my perspective, I was pretty excited. Obviously, Olivia Williams, of course, ended up winning it over Adriana Eaton. Olivia was just, they're both very good. Olivia just this summer has been on another level. She just won the junior Am against Kylie. Then she beat Adriana in the Women's Am like a week later, a little more than a week later. So she's been on another level. She played well at the New England Juniors, and she's going to be all three of them are going to be something to deal with for a long time in Rhode Island women's golf. And it's pretty exciting stuff. So exciting time for women's golf in Rhode Island for sure. Congrats to Olivia, obviously, on all her success. And now looking forward to seeing her get back to high school and help LaSalle defend the title again. So that's the women's golf story. It's certainly been an exciting couple of weeks for them. So other news and notes that we have, again, Golf News Podcast. Hope everyone's having a great Thursday. Certainly been an exciting week for sure in Rhode Island golf, for any number of reasons, of course. And in the pros, you have Will Dixon is on the G Pro Tour this week. He last check was outside the cut line, so he needs a run. We will be having another Will Dixon's journal in the coming days or so. It's been a busy stretch, obviously, for me, busy stretch for him. So we are working on connecting. So and get an update from him on how he's doing. Q School is fast approaching, so I'm sure he's getting ready for that. And then in the pros, we have Davis Chatfield and Patrick Welch playing on the Corn Ferry Tour this week. There's only a couple weeks left of the Corn Ferry Tour season. As GolfNewsRI reported a couple of days ago, I guess it was, Patrick signed a big endorsement deal with Cobra and Puma. So big deal for him. He put it up on Instagram. We don't obviously have the financial terms of the deal. I haven't seen anything about that yet. I looked for the Cobra press release, the Puma press release, but I don't know. They send out press releases for people that are just starting their careers. But if we do find the financial terms or figure it out, we'll obviously pass it along. But either way, it's a great deal for Patrick. Pretty cool to see him this early on. He signs with GSE Worldwide. He signs with these two big companies in the golf space. So last week he finished tied for 12th in this Corn Ferry Tour event, and we'll see if we can build on it this week. Davis needs a big week. He missed the cut last week by one shot. He'll look to bounce back this week. Again, if top 30 make it to the PGA Tour, neither of them are gonna, barring something crazy happening, get into the top 30. But it's about positioning yourself for next year, positioning yourself for a run at Q School, which is coming up. And again, this year's Q School is just PGA Tour Q School. The top 5 players in Q School get the top 5 players in final stage, because obviously there's multiple stages, which we learned a lot about last year. You get top 5 players get a PGA Tour card, so you go right to the tour. So and then everybody else kind of goes from there as far as Corn Ferry Tour, starts and et cetera, et cetera. So Again, we should have a loaded Q School roster from Rhode Island. This is if you're already on the Corn Ferry Tour, you're gonna try to get the PGA Tour as an opportunity to get PGA Tour cards. So I would imagine they'll all play once again. So there's that coming up as well. Christopher and Core will be there as well. Will Dixon, and like I said, I think Patrick and Davis will probably play because it's worth just trying to get your PGA Tour card, if nothing else. So I'm not 1,000% sure how that works if you're already in the Corn Ferry Tour. Again, we'll do some research, but I'm pretty certain, it doesn't hurt you by playing. So that's coming up. That'll be pretty interesting to see as well. So that's been some cool stuff. Again, the Patrick thing signing with Puma and Cobra was a pretty cool deal. I'm guessing he's going to have all kinds of photo and video content coming with them in the coming days, weeks, months, whatever. And again, I think what draws people to Patrick is just the way he plays. The cross-handed grip, the two gloves, that's unique and it's very attractive to some of these companies. So it should be interesting to watch what comes out and what kind of things he's doing and projects he's involved with going forward. So that was pretty cool. And Davis will certainly get those opportunities. I mean, Davis is with TaylorMade. He's got the Wanamoisa logo on his bag, which is cool. And he has his agency, Fidelity Investments. Is that correct? It's the sports world is the sports business. The business side of the sports world is just beginning for these guys. So that's pretty cool. So it's pretty fun to see them grow and get more involved and do different things. So there is that. So that's kind of the what we have going on as far as GolfNewsRI goes. We've had tremendous activity on social media and on our articles. So thanks everybody for that. We're looking to do some big projects, big-ish projects over into the fall season. Last year we did the survey, the handicap survey. This year we might try to do some different things, creative things, throw crap against the wall and see what happens. That's kind of the goal. So stay tuned for some of that stuff as well, perhaps some on-course content and different things of that nature. So that's what we have going on right now. I'm going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll do some Fresca playoffs. We can do some football if you want. The Patriots are on as we speak, as like I said off the top, and a couple other things. Then we'll wrap the show up and get the heck out of here. All right, this is Golf Dudes Podcast. Be right back. Billy Andre joins the show. Billy, thanks so much for doing this, and we appreciate you taking the time.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
I'm very excited to be joined by an 11-time Emmy Award winner, and that is Armin Katayan. Massachusetts Women's Amateur Champion Allison Paik.
The days of the country club just being golf and maybe one amenity are gone. Unfortunately, Metacomet doesn't have those.
He has a very rare condition called kyphoscoliotic Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. And at the time of diagnosis, there was only 60 documented cases in the world.
I mean, we legitimately played the last 4 holes at Newport National. You could not see 50 yards.
All right, welcome back to the Golf Dudes Podcast here on the GolfNewsRI Podcast Network, sponsored by Vintage Cigar Lounge. Thanks to them for their support. And go down there and get some cigars if you're around this week. So the cigar of the week has been cranking. Jeff is doing a great job of putting those together, making them a little bit fun. And we'll try to keep them going into the fall. Into the fall and maybe even the winter. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully we don't have much of a winter like we did last year. So there's that. But obviously lots going on, busy week. The PGA Tour starting the playoffs. which is exciting. The big Phil Mickelson news drop from today, not from Phil Mickelson, of course, but from an excerpt from the book The Gambler, about which is, in part is about Phil's gambling adventures. The book is called The Gambler by famous Billy Walters. Sorry, I was looking for the name, but the book's called Gambler: Secrets from a Life of Risk. It's by Billy Walters, who just served prison time for gambling issues. But anyway, the book details Phil Mickelson trying to bet on the Ryder Cup that he was playing in, and that he gambled more than $1 billion on football, basketball, and baseball over the last 3 decades, etc. So I don't think it's anything that's too stunning. I mean, and he obviously has the money for it. He's talked to SI Sports Illustrated about it. He told Bob Harrig about his gambling problem. So I'm sure they're not going to ask him about it in his live tournament this week. That's for sure. I don't think the live golf media is going to ask him about it, but it should be. I'm not 1,000% sure when the book is coming out. It's coming soon because there's already an excerpt. Fire Pit Collective, Alan Shipnuck, and those guys, they got an exclusive excerpt of it. But pretty interesting stuff. I have yet to read Alan's book on Phil. It's actually a handful of books that I would like to read at some point. I'm trying to get back into reading a little bit. My wife got me. Oh, I don't think she got me. I think from her presents from all the bridal showers and stuff and whatever, got me a bookshelf. So now I actually have like a formal bookshelf. It's not just like stacked up on my refrigerator over here. Anyway, sorry for the rant. So that should be interesting. That's making headlines today. I guess Phil said to somebody, no comment on it. Somebody asked him about today, I guess, at the live event down at Bedminster. But I'm sure he's going to continue to be asked about it now that all this stuff has come to light. Pretty fascinating. Obviously, it doesn't pay him any great light trying to bet on a Ryder Cup that he was playing in. Not a great look, but he didn't bet on it. That's the key. He didn't bet on the Ryder Cup. He just tried to. So take that for what you will. So all that stuff is going on. The FedEx St. Jude Championship, is underway at this time of recording, which is 1:50 p.m. Eric Cole has the lead at 4 under. Andrew Putnam is 3. And notables, Jordan Spieth is also 3 under, and Matt Fitzpatrick is 2 under. Schauffele 2 under. Finau 2 under. Wyndham Clark is 2 under. So those are a couple of notables. Playoffs are getting started. I really miss when the playoffs used to come here to TPC Boston. It was always something to look forward to. And hopefully they'll be coming back, or hopefully a PGA Tour tournament will be coming back. If it's not a playoff event, maybe it'll be some other event. But I think that's their plan. I think that's TPC Boston's hope at some point. So perhaps we'll get another one. But certainly miss having that tournament come here, especially now doing this would be a tremendous opportunity to cover professional golf. But needless to say, here we are. It's interesting. I was thinking about this actually earlier this morning about Harry Dessel winning the stroke play, coming back after the amateur loss. You can group that with Mike Hamilton doing the same thing last year at the stroke play, and it got me thinking. And we all have experienced this. Golf can be a cruel game, and bad breaks happen, or crap lies, or you just play crappy. So golf can be a cruel game. And we've had all those experiences, but sometimes the game pays you back, or at least it lets you redeem yourself. If not paying you back, at least it lets you redeem yourself, and that I feel like is the case with Harry and Hamilton last year. Harry played so well in the Rhode Island Amateur. He beat Mike Hamilton in the quarterfinals. He trounced his high school rival Max Jackson in the semifinals, only to get to the championship match against Bobby Leopold, a Rhode Island legend, who, by the way, also cruised through the amateur. And so Harry gets all the way there just to get beaten 9-8 by Bobby Leopold. And it's like, boy, I don't think he deserved that. that's too bad that kind of what happened. I'm not saying that he deserved to win or that Bobby deserved to lose, and that's the sport, and that's sports. Sometimes you get blown out. It happens. So I'm not like, saying anything that did anybody wrong or whatever. It was just unfortunate that was kind of how the championship kind of played out like that. So he goes through that, he gets beat 9-8, and then to come back and bounce back and win the stroke play championship and play so well again. He putted so well again. It was sort of one of those things that keeps us coming back for more. That's why we come back and keep playing golf, even when we have a crappy day or a bad break or a bad bounce, or our putt sits right on the lip of the cup, and all you needed was literally one more rotation to go in. And but it's things like that where he loses the amateur final. He probably same thing with Hamilton last year. He probably wants to go, hide for weeks and months or whatever. I would certainly, but instead, a couple of weeks later, they bounce back and they win the stroke play championship. So every once in a while, if you earn it, if you obviously continue to work at it, every once in a while, the game of golf pays you back, or at least, again, if that's not the right word, at least lets you redeem yourself. And that's been the case. That seems to be the case for the RI Stroke Play Championship over the last 2 years. It'll be interesting to see next year if the pattern follows, because this is not at least 2 years in a row. It could even be more for all I know. I don't think so. But it could be for sure. But at least 2 years in a row that's happened. So some of them think about going into next year's Stroke Play Championship, but that was just on my mind. It was interesting how that has played out over the last 2 years. So there's that. So anyway, that's what's going on. Stay tuned to GolfNewsRI all weekend long for Club Championship information as the championship season continues to roll on, and hopefully some other stuff as well. This has been the Golf Dudes Podcast. I'm Joe Calabro, wishing you all a great Thursday, a great weekend, and we will see you on the flip side. Bye.